30 years ago this summer, I began the most fulfilling project of my career. I produced the AIDS Diaries of Dr. Peter. Once a week, for the last 2 years of his life, Peter Jepson Young came on TV to talk directly to viewers about his life living with AIDS from the perspective of a young gay doctor. At the time, neither Peter nor I had any idea just how impactful these diaries would become. Partly it was just good timing. Back then, so little was known about HIV and AIDS. The general public was terrified and misinformed, but they wanted to know more. Mostly, the success was due to Peter. Viewers couldn't help but fall in love with him. They could relate to him. He had a boy-next-door quality. He was handsome, down to earth, a sharp dresser with a wicked sense of humor. He never took himself too seriously, and hey, he was a doctor. What also made the diaries a hit was that the sometimes provocative stories Peter told were embedded within the comforting context of a mainstream evening news show. Curiously, one of Peter's first diaries was about Vancouver's gay games. Conservative critics complained that the games would transform the city of Vancouver into the Sodom of the North. But Peter just talked about how proud he was to participate. By laying out his own life, both personal and professional, Peter succeeded in tackling some of society's most entrenched prejudices.
How's my head position?
Looks great.
Okay. We're rolling?
You bet.
Okay.
Ready, camera one.
3, 2, 1.
Take one.
At one point, out of a morbid sense of curiosity, I asked my GP what my life expectancy would be. And I seem to recall the numbers 9 to 14 months. Well, all I could think about was that wasn't going to be me. From the first day I was in there, I was determined to beat this thing. And 4 years later, I'm even more determined. I'm more determined than ever that...
Oh no!
No!
After 4 years?
After 4 years, I don't have anything to say.
Living now, in the times of the coronavirus pandemic, it's shocking to see the parallels with the viral epidemic of the HIV/AIDS crisis of the 80s and 90s. Now, we're living through terrifying social isolation that's reminiscent of the AIDS crisis. People are dying while quarantined, unable to say goodbye to loved ones. Back then, so many young gay men died alone and destitute. Both are health crises that hit hardest society's most marginalized and lay bare our society's injustices and inequalities. Today it's old people, the poor, people of color, people in prison who are overrepresented by our Indigenous population. There is also an optimistic flip side to both crises. The many stories of compassion, a sense that we will prevail together in our common struggle, and a renewed commitment to create a more responsible and caring society.